My heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's harder to lean on this shell of a man. You found love in the Lord, your family and your friends. Could you please pray for me that I can find the same within? My heart, pumping all day long. When the evening comes, please stay strong. Give me the morning when darkness falls. My heart, I found victory in the Father's love from the day we wed. And those vows to hold true. Nothing's gonna tear me down until the damn end. My heart belongs to you. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna head on home before it gets too late. I turn it upside down and be thankful for what He gave. I'm gonna pick my bones up and walk through the storm I made. I'm gonna hold on tight to you when it gets rough. I'm gonna lay down all my cards and call your bluff. Because the one thing in this moonlit room I trust is the beauty of your smile and the warmth inside your touch. Oh, there's nothing like a love, nothing like a love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, the way she holds you like love of a woman. The way she holds you tight, way she holds you tight when you need it most. It gives you just that little bit, just to keep on living. And that's when you find out what you're made of. That's when you find out. That's when you find out what you're made of. My heart is like a lighthouse, just trying to get you home. Your soul is like an anchor, just dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I'm saying. I've been drinking all day long. I just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. We were younger when we first laid eyes. I was walking up in heaven's skies. How about you? Did you feel it too? Don't believe in love at first sight. Now you make me wanna change my mind. How about you? Oh, how about you? My heart is like a lighthouse, just trying to get you home. Your soul is like an anchor, dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I say. I've been drinking all day long. I just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. You home. Your soul is like an anchor, just dragging you along. Pay no mind to what I'm saying. I've been drinking all day long. I just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. I just wanna hold you, just wanna hold you while we dance to this song. wondering why things they did not turn out quite right. Please believe me, please don't leave me. I said I'm sorry, didn't you hear me? The rain, the rain, the rain is falling slow. It's cold, we know. We're standing in it too. You're there, your hair is soaking wet. Please take my jacket. Take it. Please believe me. Please don't leave me. The rain is falling slow. It's cold, we know. We're standing in it too. You're there, your hair is soaking wet. Please take my jacket. You look better in it anyway. You look better in it anyway. Just take it. Just take it. Watching you go through it. You're living, you're loving, you're laughing, you're playing, you're singing, you're dancing in the dark. You're dancing in the dark. I said I'm sorry. You're dancing in the dark. Dancing in the dark. I said I'm sorry. You're dancing in the dark. Wind is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own. Life, it isn't always grand, but when you finally take that stand, you become a man. You needed to become. You meant everything to me. While you left, I could not see. I guess people just do what they want. Yeah. Time, it goes faster every day, and my heart, it leads the way, while the future, it fades into a memory. is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
As the world watches and listens in horror, the peaceful pro-democracy demonstration in China comes to a violent and bloody end.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Wolves hiding nearby, whispering do or die around me. You say your last good night while I get
There is another very important phase of warfare. It has as its target not the body, but the mind of the enemy.
The target of psychological warfare is against the enemy's mind.
It is words and ideas.
The ammunition used by Psywar.
Its mission is to influence the thoughts of the enemy soldier, and at the same time
is expected and encouraged to study foreign languages and the social sciences such as history, economics, and sociology. He must have a broad and sympathetic understanding of all phases of human experience.
gripping at my skin, the walls of night closing.
But the use of this force as an integral part of combat has now taken on new form.
As I wait to say my last goodbye.
These are the Psywar soldiers.
All right. All right, guys. Good night. Good evening and welcome to Caught Up. It is episode 32, I think. It's episode 32. Anyway, good episode this evening. For the most part, I believe we're going to talk about a little bit of what we got going on. We have Operation Kamabla. I think it's how President Trump is wanting that to be pronounced. It's kindly funny. And pretty good. Trump media event at Mar-a-Lago was pretty good. Said a lot of things, answered some questions. CDC's eviction moratorium. Not sure if this is due to the fact that the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron difference, but it's back in the appeals court. The WHO's pox simulation. WHO meaning World Health Organization, and the Chinese Communist regime's new ID censorship. All tonight on this episode, and then at some point, I know it's 9:00. They claim Trump's going to be on at 9:00. I would be extremely surprised if that's even doesn't happen for another hour. He doesn't usually come on at the exact time, so we'll keep an eye on that. And if he comes on, we'll just switch over to it real quick, so. It's always good to hear what he's got to say live anyway. So, most of you know, Caught Up is an echo chamber for content creators. Almost all content on this show, Caught Up, is created by citizen journalists. I share content created by citizen journalists who I believe to be the best at finding facts buried deep into the abyss, or outlets who I believe to be best for verifiable information. We have to operate within their system, and we only have the information that they allow us to have. These individuals who nerd out on fact-finding missions and then add their opinion to better inform me to make the best choice for me in this war of narratives is resolute. The information war is a battle for your mind and ultimately compliance. I'm excited to share the content in hopes you will turn off mainstream media, who I believe is just a version of entertainment. So again, welcome to Caught Up. Hit that thumbs up, like, follow, whatever the case may be. We appreciate any and all of it, and comments. It'd be nice to hear from that real Ed Reno. We ain't heard from him in a long time, or I haven't seen much from him anyway. So we'll say this. I went to Michigan again. I told y'all I saw a Tigers game, but out of the two trips that I've been to Michigan, once I drove, once I flew, I've only seen one Biden-Harris sign. And the Biden-Harris sign was still in the yard even after they announced that Biden was no longer going to be a part of the campaign, so to speak. So it was really interesting to see how all that turned out that way. So got a few articles to talk about, like I told you at the beginning, and then the Operation Kamabla, however that's pronounced, East Tennessee Education here. You know how that works. And so we will go into a little bit of a detail about that. Probably no more or no less than what anybody else has already gone through, but I do get some of the Badlanders on here and give their opinion about certain things that I listened to, I recorded, and then some stuff from Trump from the Mar-a-Lago speech. If you did not watch it, says Trump to speak at 10. That means I got 53 minutes of running my mouth time here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we'll see how this goes here, right? It shows there's only 2 people, 3 altogether, 2 on YouTube, 1 on Rumble. Makes me wonder if the one on Rumble is me. Makes me wonder. So let's see what we can get into here right off the bat. Okay, so we'll go there first. It don't have it on here. Yes, it does. Okay, hang on. Go over here into this. All right, guys. Okay. Here we are. This particular photo here is a Truth off of Truth Social by Donald Trump. And let me see. It says, what are the chances that crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the U.S., whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamabla, Barack Hussein Obama, crazy Nancy Pelosi, Shifty Adam Schiff, crying Chuck Schumer, and others on the lunatic left, crashes the Democratic National Convention and tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging Trump to another debate. He feels that he made a historically tragic mistake by handing over the U.S. presidency, a coup, to the people in the world he most hates, and he wants it back now. And so that's a pretty powerful statement there. So let's see what some of my favorite guys got to say about it. Here we go. Here we go. Hang on. See you in just a second.
Yeah, a couple things. So will you bring the that truth back up, please? All right. So one, he spelled stolen correctly, which he doesn't always do.
But he capitalized
Two,
it.
if you take out the aside from the first sentence, which is the middle part of it where he names people off, what he asks is, what are the chances that crooked Joe Biden, ... crashes the Democrat National Convention?
Mhm.
I think the chances of that are very high. And tries to take back the nomination. I don't know, but that sounds pretty interesting. I'd like to see him try.
Mhm.
Beginning with challenging me to another debate. There's been some back and forths about Trump and Kamala debating and when it's going to happen. And it's been on, it's been off, it's been on, it's been off.
Yeah, she hasn't accepted.
I wouldn't be surprised if the reason we haven't seen Biden around is because Biden is liable to go off on a microphone if you put one in front of him and say, "Where's Trump? I'm going to debate him again." You can picture the angry old man Joe wanting to have another debate, especially after this coup against him. And I just want to say, one of the things that stood out to me about the prisoner swap was that it happened after this thing had been switched around and Biden had been removed and Kamala had been put up there. But this prisoner swap is the kind of thing that gets pinned onto a president's legacy as a big achievement.
Even though it was Europeans who negotiated it.
Yeah, I know. But what happened here with the news cycles is that the news cycles were focused on Kamala and her taking the top of the ticket. And all of a sudden this prisoner thing happens and Biden is already an afterthought. The news cycle has moved away from him. And I don't think that prisoner swap, I think that hurts Biden. I think that's the kind of thing that where Trump points out the people he hates right here took the presidency from him. I think that kind of thing right there, switching them out before this prisoner swap and robbing Joe Biden of that victory lap is the kind of thing that makes him hate them. And one of the reasons I say that is because in the in the Her report, where he's describing Biden's notes about himself and how Biden thinks of himself, Biden comes across as thinking about himself as being one of having the timber. He said he had presidential timber. That's what Biden believed about himself, is that he was presidential timber like Teddy Roosevelt and Lincoln and whatnot. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is.
So Just Human, talking about where Biden, where he may or may not be mentally here. You know what I mean? He thinks he's presidential. He thinks he's timber. He thinks he's been hoodooed, and he has. He's been something, right? So Burning Bright's explanation, or not Burning Bright, Just Human's explanation from Badlands Media, and their links are in my description down there in the description box. Goes on into a little bit of a detail there of just exactly why he's mad, you know. Pretty good though. So, all right. And that he goes over the actual truth on Truth Social there in a way that, you know, how he broke it down. He removed part of it, he read it, and then added it to it. Whether Trump meant it to be that way or not, it doesn't matter to me. The idea that he was able to go through such detail over that, to me, just my opinion, was rather nice. So, this particular video, guys, Trump, it's not very long, it's like 45 seconds, but he talks about how the election was called. Not that it was voted on, but that the election was called, right? So I wonder what he means by that, because the night of the election in 2020, all the outlets, the media outlets, Associated Press, Fox, and all of them, they were the ones that were calling the race as it went on, and then stopped the count, and then carried on for the next few days, letting us know how much more Biden was getting closer to the story, the situation, and beating Trump. So we know, but he, just the way that he explains it, just listen. See you in a second.
What those numbers are, but they're much higher than you would think. Just like far more people were killed in the Ukraine-Russia war than you ever report. Just like the October 7th would have never happened. Russia would have never hit Ukraine had the election result been called differently. It was a very bad call, but Russia would not have attacked Ukraine. October 7th in Israel would have never happened. You wouldn't have inflation. A lot of great things would have happened. But now you have millions and millions of dead people. And you have people dying financially because they can't buy bacon, they can't buy food, they can't buy groceries, they can't do anything.
So Trump said it was a very bad call. A very bad call. I wonder what he means by that. I mean, we can all assume anything by that. You know what I'm saying? I take it as he's talking about mainstream media. When we're talking about protecting the vote come November again this year in election, we're talking about that very thing right there. We can't allow the mainstream media to call the election or to stop the election or whatever, because that's how I took what he said right there was a very bad call. A very bad call. I mean, just there's more to that. You know what I mean? So it just makes me think. So he talks about transfer of power and fair elections, right? And we all want the same thing, obviously. Peaceful transfer of power and fair elections. So the fact that he brings that up at Mar-a-Lago is priceless as far as I'm concerned.
He should have brought this up at the debate. If he had a problem, of course there'll be a peaceful transfer. And there was last time, and there'll be a peaceful transfer. I just hope we're going to have honest elections. That's all. Okay?
Pretty blunt right there, isn't he? Says he should have brought that up in the debate. I mean, no, they don't want those kinds of questions asked. They don't, especially with a national audience like that. They don't want people to know what the answer may be for that. He's right on what he says there. Why didn't he bring that up in the debate? Of course, there's going to be a peaceful transfer of power as long as there's fair elections. As long as there's fair elections. Yeah. So guys, we supposedly have a duly elected president in Joey, and you know me, that's not even remotely accurate. I don't think he was duly elected. I think he's illegitimate and illegal and all those things. And hopefully it comes out more sooner than later. And as far as I'm concerned, it should have come out by now already. But for whatever reason, it hasn't been allowed to be put out there yet. So now that he's given up his position on one second, guys. Hang on. All right, sorry about that. Have an animal. Thought it was trying to get back in the house, but apparently it's not just yet. So anyway, since Joey has handed back over, the oh goodness, he was running for president. That part, he walked away from it, resigned, gave it up, whatever. Where's he been? Which I think they showed him during the prisoner exchange, but he really didn't know where the hell he was. He actually got on a plane that was empty. He got back off, and they all kind of clapped for him like he just did something great, and it probably really didn't do anything at all. So, where is he? Let's find out.
the media to go even deeper in defense of Kamala and Waltz and demonize the Biden administration even more. You know, like there's a few different ways that you could game this out in kind of opposite directions and see them being trapped. But either way, they're reacting to the take, and it certainly feels. It was a reminder to me. One of the things I was joking about yesterday is isn't it kind of funny that nobody in the U.S. seems to recognize that Joe Biden is still the current fake president? Like, I know that we're talking about the November election cycle, but Kamala is being treated as the president of the United States right now. It's crazy. They're talking to her when she gets off of planes, doing all the president bullshit that they do. Where the fuck is Joe? I know this is so obvious to us, but to normies, you're like, where's your president? Where is he? And I feel like Trump's truth was sort of signaling that too, of being like, hey guys, do you remember your president? The other guy?
Hey guys, where's your president? Great questions. I mean, these are things that we should be asking, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there asking those questions, saying those things, asking themselves, talking to people about it. It's got to be. I mean, it's a conversation we have at work. Maybe not real deep, but it is brought up a little bit. Where is Joe? Why does Kamala not answer questions coming off the plane? And why are they treating her like she's already presidential? Was it a coup? Remains to be seen, right? So, I mean, these things are amazing to me, right? So, amazing. Amazing. Okay. Here's another truth that Trump put out. As everyone knows, the Democrats have unconstitutionally taken a candidate who is acknowledged to be defeated and unceremoniously replaced him with a new candidate. This has never been done before and is a threat to democracy, but I am totally prepared to accept the results of this coup and replace Joe on the debate stage with crazy Kamala Harris. I spent hundreds of millions of dollars, time, and effort fighting Joe, and when I won the debate, they threw a new candidate into the ring. Not fair, but it is what it is. And nevertheless, different candidate or not, their bad policies are the same and will be strongly revealed at the September 4th debate. I look forward to meeting and debating Kamala Harris on September 4th. This date is convenient and appropriate in that it is just prior to the September 6th start of early voting in the 24 presidential election. I look forward to seeing everyone on September 4th in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Pretty wild. September 4th. But is he right there? Look what he says. The Democrats have unconstitutionally taken a candidate, right? They removed him. They did some things. In some episodes, I carry on with no proof whatsoever, just an opinion, a gut feeling, something that I might say could go based on all the stuff that I read and look into, that they were going to 25th him and he fought and argued back. He didn't do the debate the way that they wanted him to. And so they, they did some uncharacteristic things and they created a coup to the point that I think Nancy Pelosi's even talking about adding him to Mount Rushmore. Are you fucking kidding me? Were they going to give the guy to walk away? And Kamala, like, is she really going to be sustainable through all of this? I mean, she got the delegates through the virtual whatever, and the DNC convention's coming up soon, and Biden's not happy. They removed him. They tricked him. But he wasn't real to begin with. Here's another question. So, if Trump can truly prove that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, like we all believe, then all this is truly fake and gay. You know it? Just, it is what it is. So, let us go forward. And this is Trump. Oh, Trump defending Joey. Defending Joey.
We have a constitution. It's a very important document, and we live by it. She has no votes, and I'm very happy to run against her. I'm not complaining from that standpoint. And I hate to be defending him, but he did not want to leave. He wanted to see if he could win. They said, you're not going to win after the debate. They said, you're not going to win. You can't win. You're out. And at first they said it nicely, and he wasn't leaving. And then you know it better than anybody. Wait a minute. So when you think about it, they said at first they were going to go out to another vote. They were going to go through a primary system, a quick primary system, which it would have to be. And then it all disappeared, and they just picked a person that was the first out. She was the first loser, okay? So we call her the first loser. She was the first loser when, during the primary system. During the Democrat primary system, she was the first one to quit, and she quit. She had no votes, no support, and she was a bad debater, by the way, very bad debater. And that's not the thing I'm looking forward to, but she was a bad debater. She did obviously a bad job. She never made it to Iowa. Then for some reason, and I know he regrets it, you do too, he picked her, and she turned on him too. She was working with the people that wanted him out. But the fact that you can get no votes, lose in the primary system, in other words, you had 14 or 15 people, she was the first one out, and that you can then be picked to run for president, it seems to me actually unconstitutional. Perhaps it's not. Please.
See, he kind of goes into a little detail there. If you've watched anything that Trump said or done over the last 9 years, he gives you enough information that you can get the truth out of it, dig for it deep somewhere, something like that. So when he talks about Kamala the way that he does, he's going back to before 2020 when she was debating Joe and the rest of them there. She lost. She never made it to Iowa. She didn't get 1%. Not one. And then magically, she becomes a VP to the very guy that during a debate, she was nasty about. She was, over racial issues and bus transportations, those kinds of things like that. So, not exactly sure how she made it to the front where she did. I don't know if the Patriots are in control of that or they just really thought that the American public was that dumb. I don't think that we are that dumb. I think there's far more many of us out there that are way smarter than we're given credit for. So I love the way that he explains that, and he defends Joe. They took this. They removed him. Where is this so-called duly elected president? People wake up. He's not around because he's not. Yeah. We all have our opinions. We all have our opinions. So we know that they took the presidency, right?
And shockingly, he appointed her, asked her to serve as vice president. Well, I don't know if he's happy about that decision right now. This was taken away. The presidency was taken away from Joe Biden. And I'm no Biden fan, but I'll tell you what, from a constitutional standpoint, from any standpoint you look at, they took the presidency away. And people were saying he lost after the debate. He couldn't win. Well, I don't know that that's true necessarily. But whether he could win or he couldn't win, he had the right to run. And they took it away. They said they're going to use the 25th Amendment. They're going to hit you hard. Either we can do it the nice. I know exactly because I know a lot of people on the other side, believe it or not. And they said, we'll do it the nice way, or we'll do it the hard way. And he said, all right. So that, I mean, they've really taken, what they've done is pretty incredible. And now I'm running against somebody else, and we're leading. So I'm not complaining. I'm saying it's for a country with a constitution that we cherish. We cherish this constitution. To have done it this way is pretty severe, pretty horrible. You would have thought they would have gone out to a vote. They would have had a primary system. They would have done something, but to just take it away from him like he was a child. And he's a very angry man right now. I can tell you that. He's not happy with Obama, and he's not happy with Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy. She is crazy too. She's not happy with any of the people that told him that you've got to leave. He's very unhappy, very angry. And I think he also blames her. He's trying to put up a good face, but it's a very bad thing in terms of a country when you do that. I'm not a fan of his, as you probably have noticed. And he had a rough debate. But that doesn't mean that you just take it away like that. Or you go out to a vote, you do something. He had 14 million votes. She had no votes. She got no votes. And I think she's crashing. I think when people find out, and I think people are starting to find out what a bad job she did on the border. She's trying to say she had nothing to do with the border.
There you have it. I mean, again, he goes into detail about the truth. He didn't get the votes. Joe got the votes. Joe got the money. Where did all that go? How about this year's primary? His campaign, supposed campaign. Where did all that go? These are questions we should be asking as a nation. If you're not awake to what's going on right now, I'm sorry. You need to wake up. You need to open your eyes to see what's going on. Trump gives us an amazing amount of truth. When you go digging around and look for stuff, it's what it is. Very much what it is. Let's see. Okay. So we got Burning Bright. 31-second clip here on Trump defending Joey. It's great.
We said on these shows, I think Power Hour and Defected, it was part of the Our Boy Blue stuff, but we said look for Donald Trump to start coming to the defense of Joe Biden a few weeks ago.
Did.
Now, I was forwarding that as an idea of that would be a calm to me of he's our boy. But in fairness, with your framing, John, it doesn't have to mean that. It's
There you go. There you go. They talked about it a few weeks ago on a show I watched. And yeah, the guys are good, man. Vernon Bright, Just Human, Chris Paul, Patrick Nolan, John Harold or Tail Patriot, and Ash in America, Ken Khan, all of them to some degree, all have they're good, just in my opinion. I just choose to stick to a few of them, maybe a handful, and go from there. So, man, that's a lot of quality information, guys. That is two posts, two truths by Trump, broke down in ways that probably wouldn't otherwise be broke down quite that way. So, all right, let's I want to hear Trump talk about how they weaponized the government against him, an opponent. And shame on them, but they did.
It's politically motivated. I think it's a horrible thing they did. Look, they've weaponized government against me. Look at the Florida case. It was a totally weaponized case. All of these cases, by the way, the New York cases are totally controlled out of the Department of Justice. They sent their top person to the various places. They went to the AG's office, got that one going. Then he went to the DA's office, got that one going, ran through it. No, this is all politics, and it's a disgrace. Never happened in this country. It's very common that it happens, but not in our country. It happens in banana republics and third world countries, and that's what we're becoming. We have no borders. We have bad voting regulations. Anytime you have mail-in ballots, you're going to have problems. France learned that lesson. You know, France had all mail-in voting, and they went back to paper ballots, voter identification, voter ID. They went back to a normal system, one-day voting. They don't want to be around, voting for 64 days. And look, the election, I keep talking about November 5th, but the election really starts on September 6th.
Oh, yep. He talks about how they weaponized the government against him, man. He could have done that. He could have went after. He could have done the same thing to the Clintons, to the Obamas. For whatever reason, he didn't. I know he campaigned that on it in 2016 or 15, lock her up type stuff. So I get it. But he didn't follow through with those things. He didn't use his Department of Justice to go after his political opponents the way they've gone after him. Trump's an amazing human being, guys. Whether you believe it or you don't, I hate that. But it is what it is, So also, were you aware of this? Watch this.
So, yeah, sure. So Elon called me. As you know, he endorsed me full-throated. Great endorsement. I respect Elon a lot. He respects me. And not easy for him to endorse to be honest with you. You know, it takes courage to endure.
Elon, full-throated. What's he mean by that? Full-throated. The hell's he mean by that? Words mean something, people. It's a narrative. It's a something that's intended for someone else that's watching that understands coded things. Maybe I don't know. I'm just game theorying it out here. But when he said he throated it, it took courage to do that. He throated it. That's what got me. That's the part of this video that I wanted you all to see, was the fact that he claims he throated it. I'd really like to understand what that meant. Maybe Just Human will get into that just a tad bit more. Honestly, because the whole throated it thing was new to me. And so they're doing something together. Did you know that? Elon and Trump, they're doing something.
Asked me whether or not I do a show on Monday, and I think it's going to be Monday night. And I believe he's the host of the show, so it'll be very interesting. A lot of people are talking about it. I look forward to it.
You're going to do a show with Elon Musk on X? Is that how I understood that? On Monday. Today's Friday, so it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That would be very interesting. And then, so we'll see. That's a Monday thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a Monday thing. Okay, let's see. One more video. About MAGA from our champion.
For our country, and a lot of my people, a lot of the MAGA, as they call them, but the base, and I think the base is 75% of the country, far beyond the Republican Party, because we're a party of common sense, and I'm a person of common sense. I want to have low taxes. I want to have strong borders. I want to have a strong military so that China and Russia, look, they've allowed China.
75% of the country says. How does he come up with a number like that? See, you and me, we can throw a number out like that because we're guessing. Just a guess. He would have information that the rest of us wouldn't to be able to come up with that number like that. You know what I mean? So 75% of the country, 75% of the country. Very, very good. So let me see here. Look here. All right, guys, this is a Patriot Post here. I don't know who you know who they are or not, but they're okay. It says the Harris flop would be scarier than her flip. Would be scarier than her flip, the Harris flop. Very good. Victor Davis Hanson. I don't know if you all know who he is. I have followed him for a long time. He flip-flops too, like he believes the election was real, as you'll see. But anyway, it says Biden won in 2020 on the premises that until November election, he would pose as a good old Joe from Scranton and not scare voters. And so Biden talked about unity and competency. And as soon as he was elected in 20, if you believe he was elected duly, Biden became the leftist veneer for a hyper-radical Obama third term. Fooled and naive voters were shocked that their supposedly moderate candidate turned into a veritable neo-socialist president. First of all, he's not real, and it was not legitimate. And say that we were fooled and naive. There were some, but not all of us. In general, the left acknowledges the spread, the wealth, high taxes, big government, open borders, soft on crime, and woke DEI agendas don't appeal with 51% of the people, as we have proven to show. The reality requires disinformation from leftist policies to be implemented. This is an opinion piece by Victor Hansen. So now Harris and the new vice president candidate Walz will smother all their cherished left-wing positions until late November. The two left-wing Camelons will assume the temporary identities and policies of moderates. The temporary metamorphosis means that the leftist nominees superficially feign agreements with most American support, energy independence, low taxes, limited government, strong defense, deterrent foreign policy, secure borders, legal only immigration, and assimilation rather than woke DI tribalism. Harris and Walz are the most brazen and extreme examples of left-wing flip-floppers in memory, but for both, the cartwheeling will soon be difficult. Harris is utterly incapable of articulating a coherent thought without a teleprompter or a stage interview, and Walz is a buffoon. Until recently, Harris was proud that she had been one of the most radical California politicians in memory. She ran such a hard left, polarizing presidential bid against Biden in 2020 that she could not capture even a single Democrat delegate. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. She couldn't accomplish any of those things. Now she's selected a vice president pick, the most left-wing governor in the nation, supposedly, because in the summer of 2020 rioting allowed Black Lives Matter and Antifa to run amok in Minnesota, while his new partner Harris raised bail for the jailed for violence. He once boasted that Democrats go into depression when they see electoral maps shaded in red, but it's mostly rocks and cows that are in the red area. Anyway, says the Harris Walz would be tried fulfilling earlier promises to ban fracking, horizontal drilling, render the U.S. vulnerable to hostile foreign oil producers, distance the U.S. from Israel, and out-appease Biden's coddling of Iran. They would continue the crazy left-wing war on Supreme Court and implement Biden's plan to neuter it. But for now, the message is clear. In order to run a country for the next 4 years, we must lie and deceive you for the next 3 months. The Patriot Post was a very good read. The Harris flip-flop would be scarier than her flip. Victor Hansen, who is okay. He's great with Hillsdale College, but some of his opinions are, they're out there as far as I'm concerned. So there's the Harris thing. How about this, guys? Let's see. Right here. Appeals court revive lawsuit against CDC's eviction moratorium. I wonder if the Chevron difference plays a role in this, because it just doesn't seem like that the appeal would have made it back again if they didn't want it to, right? So remember who they is. Almost did it wrong again, guys. Okay. A federal appeal court has revived a lawsuit against the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention months-long eviction moratorium, ruling that a lower court wrongly threw out the case. Property owners challenging the moratorium, initially portrayed as temporary but ultimately remaining in place for nearly a year, adequately argued that CDT's moratorium amounted to a physical seizure of their rental properties. And the U.S. Court of Appeals for Federal Circuit stated on August 7th, a portion of the U.S. Constitution's Fifth Amendment, known as the Taking Clause, states that nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. The CDC order constitutes a compensable taking of plaintiffs' property and property rights without just compensations, the owners said in their suit. And the U.S. District Judge Bonilla dismissed the case in 22, finding that the challenges under the amendment's clause could not be brought unless the government's actions that was being challenged was authorized by Congress. The CDC lacked the requisite congressional authority to issue the nationwide residential eviction moratorium at the heart of this case, Bonilla said. However, the appeals court stated that the CDC was acting within the normal scope of its duties when it issued the moratorium, which halted evictions from September 4th, 2020 through mid-2021. On the whole, the circumstances here indicate the CDC issued the order in good faith attempt to prevent interstate spread of COVID-19 based on good faith interpretation of its authority under the PHSA, which is the Public Health Service Act. Just before the order was set to expire by its own terms, Congress stepped in and extended it. Thereafter, the CDC, now under different administration, extended it several more times. Prost Road. All the while, the government vehemently defended the order's legality against challenges, and taken together, these acts show that the order to be a sustained, comprehensive governmental effort bearing hallmarks of an official governmental action. Under these circumstances, there is indeed a little neutral unwillingness to find lack of authority on the CDC's part. They declined to comment. In sum, the Supreme Court's decision specifically held that the eviction moratorium was outside the agency's normal scope of duties or any reasonable interpretation of its powers, a taking claim cannot lie for such an unauthorized act of government officials. So, once again, does Chevron play a part in that? The CDC can't come back with their experts and say that the judge doesn't know better than them. I don't believe it to be that at all. At all. So, let's go to the next article. Guys, I got to take a break, a potty break, and it looks like Trump may be on here in just a minute. I'll see you shortly.
My heart, pumping all day long. Get me the morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh.
All right, guys, sorry about that. Get back into okay. The Who. The Who. The Who, the Who, the Who. So if you know me at all, then you know how my opinion on the World Health Organization, right? So it says just in time for the elections, the World Health Organization, the Tedros dude, calls an announcement to an emergency meeting of an international experts on Wednesday. He stated the emergency committee would convene as soon as possible to determine whether the outbreak qualifies as a public health emergency. And what is the outbreak? Monkeypox. Spread inside and outside of Africa. According to the news release, monkeypox is an epidemic in Central and West Africa and can be transmitted through physical contact with affected individuals or contaminated materials. So here's the responses online. You are a threat to public health, you insufferable tyrants. Give it up, dude. We're definitely not doing that shit again. Hang on one second, guys. Holy cow. All right, guys. So the animal came back. Anyway, why don't you ever talk about the 40% rise in all case mortality worldwide? Why don't you ever mention the 35 million who've died after getting the mandated gene therapies and so on and so forth? No one cares what your Marxist committees think. And yeah, the sexually transmitted, the disease that was supposed to be the biggest scare since COVID. Anyway, it says the Gateway Pundit previously reported that the World Health Organization, WHO, was working with scientists to develop a new name for monkeypox virus that will not be discriminatory or stigmatizing, an effort to employ woke ideals in virology. The WHO thinks, yeah, the WHO is all I can say. All right. Last article, this one right here. Chinese new digital ID sparks more censorship fears, right? Beijing sparked new concerns for tighter censorship with a policy to introduce digital identification for Netizen. Y'all know what a Netizen is? Not sure. Must be a citizen in China. Right? The Chinese Communist regime said the voluntary scheme is designed to streamline services processes, protect personnel, and information and reduce fraud, right? Here's the great thing. The policy was introduced last month by the Ministry of Public Security, the MPS, and State Department responsible for online censorship. This is in China, guys. It's still subject to consultation. However, it's already been piloted across a number of public service social media platforms. The MPS app for digital ID is currently available on several app stores, including Apple's app. So it says, meanwhile, a man from Northeast China is suing MPS for implementing the policy before the consultative process is completed. Crazy. Cyberspace Administration of China, CAC. Here's the thing, guys. So NPS said the measure would better protect netizens' personal information because online platforms would no longer need to collect it separately. However, critics say that it makes it easier for the Chinese Communist Party to identify dissidents who cross the party line in cyberspace. A U.S.-based telecommunications expert, Zhang Shan, who previously known as Wang Zhu, said the measure, combined with China's social credit system, could help boost local authorities' revenue from fines and be used as another way to control dissidents. I think everyone will be given an ID number, but not necessarily a certificate, and those who are under surveillance of the political security police could be left without a search certificate, he told the Chinese edition of the Epoch Times. Guys, this is a bad deal. Why is the United States in any of this? I don't understand. First of all, I don't understand why we allow that many Chinese to be in our country to begin with. And then allow them to develop that type of technology, go back home. So Trump's not on yet, and I don't know that I'm going to sit around and wait for it that long. We'll say this: I got three people watching live, and all three of them are me. So hopefully this gets some views after it's over with. I am being told I've been shadow banned. I don't know. We'll know soon enough. I think I'm just competing with Trump along with everybody else in their Friday night show. So anyway, with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed the show this evening. Some good content. I actually recorded all the stuff. Anyway, good evening, and enjoy the rally in Montana.
My heart, pumping all day long. Get me to morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's harder to lean on this shell of a man. You found love in the Lord, your family and your friends. Could you please pray for me that I can find the same within? My heart, pumping on. always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own. Life, it isn't always grand, but when you finally take that stand, you become a man. You needed to people just do what they want. Time, it goes faster every day, and my heart, it leads the way, while the future, it fades into a memory. Is always at my back. My back is always strapped with these things that I call my own.